If you're craving a comforting, savory, and utterly delicious meal, there's nothing quite like a bowl of pork fried rice. This classic dish takes simple ingredients and elevates them into a harmony of textures and flavors, perfect for busy weeknights, meal prepping, or impressing your friends and family with your culinary skills. With a few tips and tricks, you'll be able to master pork fried rice right in your own kitchen, achieving that restaurant-quality taste and the irresistible aroma that fills the air as the pan sizzles. Let's dive into the secrets of crafting pork fried rice you'll crave again and again. Start by getting the right rice. The foundation of any great fried rice is the rice itself. Day-old, cold, cooked white rice is ideal because it's drier and helps each grain remain distinct as you fry. Freshly cooked rice, while tempting, tends to be too moist and can turn mushy in the pan. If you only have freshly cooked rice, spread it out on a tray to cool and dry it a bit before using. For the pork, you have several delicious options. Pork tenderloin, boneless pork chop, or pork shoulder are all fantastic choices. For extra flavor, consider using leftover roasted pork or even barbecue pork, known as char siu. Trim off any excess fat and slice the pork into thin, bite-sized pieces so they cook quickly and evenly. Marinate the pork for at least 15 minutes in a mixture of soy sauce, a splash of sesame oil, minced garlic, and a touch of sugar. This marinade infuses the meat with flavor and ensures it remains juicy and tender. While the pork marinates, prepare your vegetables. Classic pork fried rice often features a medley of diced carrots, peas, and green onions. You can also add bell peppers, corn, or even mushrooms for extra texture and nutrition. Finely dice the carrots so they cook through quickly, and slice the green onions on a bias for a touch of elegance and crunch. Next, gather your aromatics. Fresh garlic and ginger are essential for that unmistakable fried rice fragrance. Mince the garlic and ginger finely. If you like a little heat, slice a fresh chili or have a pinch of chili flakes on hand. Now, it's time to get cooking. Heat a large wok or skillet over medium-high heat. Add a generous splash of oil. Neutral oils like vegetable, canola, or peanut oil are best because they have a high smoke point and won't overpower the other flavors. Swirl the oil around to coat the pan. Add the marinated pork in a single layer. Sear the pieces, letting them caramelize and develop a golden brown crust. Avoid overcrowding the pan. Work in batches if needed to ensure each piece browns nicely instead of steaming. Once the pork is cooked through, remove it from the pan and set aside. In the same pan, add a bit more oil if needed, then toss in the minced garlic and ginger. Let them sizzle for a few seconds until fragrant, being careful not to burn them. Immediately, add your diced carrots and any other firm vegetables. Stir-fry for a couple of minutes until they begin to soften. Next, push the vegetables to the side of the pan and crack in a couple of eggs. Let the eggs set slightly, then scramble them gently, mixing them with the vegetables. The eggs add richness and a velvety texture to the finished dish. Now comes the rice, the star of the show. Add the cold, cooked rice to the pan, breaking up any clumps with your spatula. Spread it out in an even layer and let it sit for a minute or two. This allows the rice to fry and develop those delightful, toasty bits that make fried rice so satisfying. Return the cooked pork to the pan, along with any juices that have accumulated. Pour in a mixture of soy sauce and oyster sauce, which bring umami depth and a touch of sweetness. Drizzle in a bit of sesame oil for nuttiness, and toss everything together vigorously. The key to great fried rice is high heat and constant stirring. This ensures the flavors meld and each grain of rice gets coated with the sauce. Toss in the peas and sliced green onions, stirring just until the peas are warmed through and the onions are vibrant and slightly wilted. Taste and adjust the seasoning with a pinch of white pepper or a splash more soy sauce if needed. For extra flair, finish with a handful of chopped cilantro or a sprinkle of toasted sesame seeds. If you crave even more flavor, a dash of chili oil or a side of pickled vegetables can elevate your pork fried rice to new heights. What makes pork fried rice so crave-worthy? It's the balance of textures, the tender, savory pork, the soft yet distinct grains of rice, the subtle crunch of vegetables, and the fluffy curds of egg. All of these elements come together, brought to life by the fragrant garlic, ginger, and the umami-rich sauces. This dish is endlessly customizable. Love more veggies? Add snap peas, bean sprouts, or baby corn. Prefer a smoky flavor? Try a splash of dark soy sauce or a few drops of liquid smoke. Want a punch of heat? Stir in sriracha, sliced jalapenos, or a spoonful of chili crisp. The beauty of pork fried rice lies in its versatility. Make it your own with your favorite additions. Let's talk about serving. Pork fried rice is satisfying on its own, but it pairs beautifully with a fresh cucumber salad, hot and sour soup, or simple steamed greens like bok choy. For a fun twist, serve it in a pineapple bowl or top it with a fried egg for an extra layer of decadence. Storing leftovers is a breeze. Fried rice keeps well in the refrigerator for up to 3 days. Reheat it in a hot pan to revive the texture and flavors, adding a splash of water if needed to loosen the rice. In fact, some say fried rice tastes even better the next day as the flavors have more time to meld. For those seeking a healthier option, substitute brown rice or even cauliflower rice for a lighter version. Use lean cuts of pork and load up on extra vegetables. The result is still deeply flavorful and satisfying. Now let's highlight a few expert tips to ensure your pork fried rice is truly unforgettable. First, always use high heat and work quickly to keep the vegetables crisp and the rice from sticking. Second, don't overdo the sauce. It's meant to enhance, not drown the rice. Third, resist the urge to stir constantly when first adding the rice. Allow it to sit undisturbed for a minute or two to develop those irresistible crispy edges. If you're preparing for a crowd or want to meal prep, pork fried rice is your best friend. Double or triple the recipe, and you'll have lunches or dinners ready to go. It also makes for a fantastic filling in lettuce wraps, or as a base for grain bowls topped with pickled vegetables and crunchy nuts. For an even more authentic touch, seek out Chinese sausage or lap chong. Dice and fry it alongside the pork for a sweet, aromatic note that takes your fried rice to the next level. Finally, remember that cooking is as much about intuition as it is about recipes. Taste as you go, trust your senses, and don't be afraid to experiment. Whether you stick to the classic version or make it your own, pork fried rice is a dish that brings comfort and joy with every bite. So, the next time you find yourself with leftover rice, a bit of pork, and a craving for something truly special, remember this recipe. In just a few steps, you'll have a meal that's not only quick and easy, but deeply satisfying, bursting with flavor, and sure to become a staple in your culinary repertoire. Gather your ingredients, fire up the wok, and treat yourself to homemade pork fried rice, a timeless favorite you'll crave again and again.